You are watching this presentation because you are interested in how to create consistent cash flow buying businesses without your capital with acquisitions automation. So we created a service where we can acquire businesses for you so you don't have to spend time reaching out to companies, deal evaluating, calling lenders. We get all of that done. And the reason for that is because it's never a better time to buy. There's trillions in capital available through our lenders. And so you can actually just hire us. We'll acquire two companies for you by leveraging a call center system. And you will have transparent access to the pipeline of businesses so you can see exactly what's going on. Right now, it's the best time to buy businesses because obviously you look at all these other asset classes, small to medium-sized businesses, tops them all. And we're going to teach you how to do exits from anywhere from 2.5 to anywhere from 24x. We've got contacts and relationships from every end. And it's easier to sell a bundle of companies for 200 million than it is to acquire one for 1.8. And that's why we're automating the process by scaling and investing into call centers to reach out to companies in a systematic fashion so that you can automate your deal flow. Okay, so working without the Hansen Club and our system is significantly more difficult. You're gonna have to go to a seller site, speak to a broker, review financials. You're gonna have to pay out of pocket for the letter of intent, which would be anywhere from $25,000 or more for the quality of earnings and legal team, right? The broker's gonna push you to get the deal done in 90 days, and if you don't like it, then you're got to go back to the drawing board. And a lot of times people just lose this money right here on the legal fees, and they have to start over and over again before they ever get the right deal done, right? So then the deal dies and it's acquired, and then you have to figure out how to operate that business and then resell it, right? So we do all of this for you. You don't have to ever pay out of pocket for the legal quality earnings, and that way you can just buy companies, focus on operations and scaling. Okay, so we want to show people how to focus on working on the business and not in the business, right? So don't buy just one business, buy over 10 over the next 5 years with the Hansen Club. We want to show you how, instead of like working in the store, ordering supplies and sweeping the floor, you can hire an operator, you can find investors, you can acquire competitors, and you can look for new verticals to acquire, right? And that's what we want to teach you, is how to be the owner who does nothing and scales as an investor rather than someone that works in the day-to-day operations. Okay, and so we focus on family-run businesses that generate less than 10 million in revenue. The kids don't want to get into the business. They don't have big growth plans beyond what they're doing, and there's opportunities to make low-risk changes to increase the EBITDA. Okay, so and we focus on manufacturing, transportation, restaurants, e-commerce, and technology. And what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to find the deal, how to negotiate, how to fund it, and then operate and exit from end to end. And so we've been working with companies around the world. Right, here's an example of one company called Spa Builds in Liverpool. We were able to increase the revenue by 50% by making minor changes. So imagine like getting in on a business at 1.5 that was making 750 a year and then just simply leveraging other people's money to increase the revenue. That's exactly what we do. And you don't have to worry about evaluating the deal. You're not gonna have to worry about improving the business. You can actually just sit back and we'll do this for you. And we're just gonna leverage your capital to scale our call center model. And it works for us because we're a partner with you to acquire these assets. So here's another example of a case study, Blue Corn Beeswax. It was a small candle manufacturer in Colorado, generating about 1.3 million in revenue with 250K in profit. We paid 1.4 million for the acquisition, and then we actually didn't do anything for about like 6 to 9 months, but then we decided to acquire a facility and was able to increase the revenue from 1.3 to 4 million because the increased the facility allowed the company to get distributed into Cracker Barrel, which 4x the revenue. So, imagine getting into a company at 250 and you're making, your distribution of like anywhere from 7 to 10,000 a month, and then that going from 7 to 10,000 a month to like 30, 40,000 a month. And then you're not even doing the work. You're not working in the day-to-day operations. You just invested and you're overseeing the charts, right? And that's what we're looking to do, is we're looking to acquire companies so that you have, somewhere between 40 to 30%. So this is what it looks like if you were going to do it completely by yourself and you were reaching out and prospecting, and there wasn't any project manager or consultant added to the chart. So here we convinced the seller to give up 90% of the business. And then this is an example, like if we gave 10% to an equity partner, if for any reason, phase on capital, the debt wasn't enough to cover the business. So that's why it's going to leave you with somewhere between 30-40%. Like I said, because we may have to add a consultant or a project manager to work on the business based upon your desired availability. And really that's it, is just creating a pipeline for us reaching out and reaching and doing the deals, right? So we can get salespeople incentivized to, get paid on the acquisition. We can incentivize them to become, staff, like getting some sort of salary for the business, and then you can maintain ownership. That's a flexible deal by deal basis based upon your experiences, our network, and the involvement after acquiring the company. Like I said, we're really focused on is just streamlining that process of reaching out to companies in a systematic fashion. So our deliverables to you is to teach you how to find the targets, how to enrich them, how to, convince them to do the deal with you. You have no additional costs on quality of earnings, legal, and we give you access to the funding network, right? And then we also show you how to operate the business more effectively so you can increase the EBITDA and then eventually resell it for a massive multiple. And then you get access to Quincy and an account manager. We have an app where we house all of the data. And so the value that you have is originally it was designed, the Hansen Club, where you were the one doing the prospecting. But thankfully, the Hansen Club did a partnership with All Done Consulting, and we're going to actually automate that process. So Hansen Club created the system on how to acquire companies, and then we made a system for done for you direct marketing and sales. So now you don't have to do any prospecting at all. And so it's limited to 1,000 members for the done for you side. And so here's how it's going to work. Like you join the club, you complete the training. I mean, honestly, you don't even have to complete the training, but it's just going through the onboarding process, getting into the app. And then from there, we'll teach you how to manage the pipeline. So when we say training, it's just like understanding how the system works. And so what we did is we created an app where we connect business buyers to sellers and consultants. And we have 18 plus companies that are adding intellectual property to the platform. And we're soon going to be marketing and selling the platform for a one-time payment of $100. And the whole purpose of the app is to automate acquisitions. So we connect the buyer, the salesperson, the writer, the marketers, the companies, the people that want a job, and then we can host virtual and physical events, and then essentially just resell the software into remote call centers around the world, acquiring companies and building a network. And so the way it all works is at the very least, you want to join the automation network. It's a one-time payment of $100 where you get access to our app, the training, the job board, the documents, and the mastermind meetings. And if you want to do acquisitions yourself and do all the prospecting, it's a one-time payment of $26,500. And then so you'll learn how to acquire 2 companies in 8 months using your own blood, sweat, and tears. And if you absolutely don't want to do that at all and you just want to acquire 2 companies, we'll actually do that for you for $50K. And we project that in 6 to 8 months. Realistically, when it gets dialed in, it'll be closer to 4 months. And so you get to leverage our entire marketing plan. There's a full 46-page document that outlines how we're going to be marketing and selling the software and licensing our remote call center model around the world. We actually have one of the top call center trainers in the country that is going to be managing and running the day-to-day training for our staff, and we'll be acquiring our first call center here in Phoenix, Arizona. And so if you are interested in being a part of acquisitions automation, it's really simple. We project to generate $360 million in the next 3 years. And the way we're going to do that is by, number one, we're going to focus on generating 100,000 users at the $100 offer by just selling our call center model, right? And that's 10 million. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to look for 1,000 business buyers and companies to buy our done-for-you service, which is $50 million in revenue. We believe this is feasible within a year. And at that point, it's just curating and filtering through 2,000 companies with an average acquisition of 1.5. And we already have the lenders. There's trillions available in lending. And we already have a list of 300,000 companies. So if we converted less than 1%, we'd already achieve that goal. And then from there, it's just talking to the sellers and saying, hey, we just helped you retire. You got a salary guaranteed, and we're also going to give you another check in 5 years when we exit. If you put 10% back into the system, we'll go acquire more companies for you to make you even more generational wealth, right? And then that's just another 300 million to invest into the call center model. And then we just, use it from there at that point to just create the LinkedIn for acquisitions. And we push to create 1 billion, daily users and create a network of 10,000 companies worldwide. So that's the plan. That's the goal of what you're buying into. And so for a one-time payment of 50,000, you can join the Acquisitions Automation Network. As I mentioned, we are limiting this to 1,000 members, and we'll be closing the doors for 5 years. So if you're interested in learning how to create consistent cash flow, buying businesses without your capital, visit us at alldoneconsulting.com and schedule a free consultation today. After the call, you'll know exactly what to do. We did the work. We had the proof. It's all done.